As the 2024 election cycle unfolds, former President Donald Trump finds himself facing a significant and growing challenge with female voters, a demographic that has become increasingly critical in American politics. While Trump's controversial style and rhetoric have long been polarizing, his relationship with female voters has seen notable shifts since his initial campaign in 2016. This shift highlights a larger, more complex issue within American political dynamics and suggests a potential turning point in the allegiance of women, especially suburban and younger women, who may play a decisive role in the upcoming election. The historical context: Trump's relationship with female voters. Trump's presidency, from 2016 to 2020, was marked by several controversies, some of which directly impacted women's perceptions of his administration. From accusations of misogynistic behavior to policies that affected women's rights, Trump has often been at odds with various women's advocacy groups. His administration saw significant rollbacks on reproductive rights, vocal opposition to feminist movements like #MeToo, and frequent public exchanges with high-profile women who opposed him. Despite these factors, Trump retained a considerable base among certain segments of female voters, particularly among white, conservative, and rural women, in both the 2016 and 2020 elections. However, this foundation is beginning to shift, revealing new fault lines. In the 2018 midterms, suburban women notably swung in favor of Democratic candidates, flipping the House of Representatives. Many political analysts point to these elections as an early warning sign of Trump's weakening hold on women, particularly among moderate, suburban, and educated demographics. Now, in 2024, these tensions have intensified, with polling data indicating a growing gender gap that threatens his electoral prospects. According to recent surveys, Trump's approval ratings among women are at their lowest point, and the gender gap in support for him versus his competitors has widened dramatically. The numbers: a breakdown of women's voting trends. Polls conducted across the United States in recent months illustrate a widening gender divide in the upcoming election. Women across different age groups, ethnicities, and educational backgrounds are expressing significantly lower levels of support for Trump compared to his primary Democratic opponent. According to a comprehensive poll by Gallup, only 34% of women view Trump favorably, while 60% report a negative perception. This 26-point gap is especially pronounced among younger women, ages 18 to 35, who show the lowest levels of support. When looking at the breakdown by education level, the disparity grows even more striking. Among college-educated women, only 25% support Trump, while 70% favor a Democratic candidate. Suburban women, who represent a key swing demographic in battleground states, show similar trends. In states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, which Trump narrowly won in 2016, polling shows a significant lean toward his opponents among female voters, a trend that could potentially be decisive in these crucial areas. Suburban women, the key battleground demographic. Suburban women were pivotal in both the 2016 and 2020 elections. Historically conservative, they began shifting away from the GOP under Trump's leadership, largely due to concerns about his rhetoric and policies. Issues such as healthcare, gun control, and economic stability resonate particularly strongly with this group, and many feel that Trump's approach has not adequately addressed these concerns. Recent surveys conducted in suburban districts reveal that issues like reproductive rights and public safety are top priorities for women in these communities. The 2022 Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, a move celebrated by Trump's conservative base, had the unintended consequence of mobilizing female voters in large numbers. For many suburban women, reproductive rights are seen as a fundamental issue, and Trump's support for conservative justices has pushed even some traditionally conservative women to reconsider their support for him. This shift among suburban women could spell trouble for Trump in districts that are traditionally Republican strongholds. The impact of social media and grassroots movements. Social media has played a substantial role in shaping public opinion, especially among younger female voters. Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok are filled with content from grassroots organizations, influencers, and individual voters who are vocal about their opposition to Trump. Movements like Women's March and campaigns by progressive groups like Planned Parenthood have used social media to amplify their messages, creating viral content that draws attention to Trump's record on women's rights, healthcare, and other issues that affect women. One of the most powerful aspects of these campaigns is their ability to reach young, first-time voters. For example, TikTok has become a central platform for political discourse among Gen Z voters, with hashtags like #VoteHimOut and #WomenAgainstTrump trending during key moments in the election cycle. This digital mobilization is particularly potent as it allows for rapid information dissemination and peer-to-peer influence, driving political engagement among demographics that may have previously been less politically active. Analyzing Trump's responses and attempts at course correction. In response to his waning popularity among female voters, Trump has attempted to reshape his public image and rhetoric to some extent. His campaign has increased its focus on economic issues, emphasizing job growth and financial security, topics that historically resonate with a broad base, including women. Trump has also strategically promoted women within his campaign, showcasing female surrogates who publicly support his policies and espouse his commitment to women's issues. Nevertheless, these efforts have faced challenges. Trump's frequent polarizing remarks on social media and at rallies often undermine these attempts at outreach, reinforcing negative perceptions among female voters. Additionally, his response to questions about women's issues, particularly reproductive rights, has often been inconsistent, creating further ambiguity about his stance. These mixed signals have left many women feeling alienated, leading some to seek alternatives within the Democratic Party or among third-party candidates. Implications for the 2024 election: a gender divide. As the election draws closer, the widening gender gap may prove to be a decisive factor in the final outcome. Political analysts agree that Trump's diminishing support among female voters, particularly in swing states, could undermine his path to victory. The Democratic Party, recognizing this vulnerability, has ramped up its outreach to women through targeted ads, community engagement initiatives, and policy promises focused on healthcare, education, and family welfare, issues that polls show are top priorities for women voters. Moreover, the Democratic Party's emphasis on reproductive rights has resonated strongly with women, especially after the Roe v. Wade reversal. Many voters feel that the preservation of these rights is now a primary issue, and the Democratic Party has positioned itself as the protector of women's autonomy in this area. In contrast, Trump's perceived alignment with conservative factions on this issue has alienated women who otherwise might align with him on other policy matters. The divide between Trump and female voters in the 2024 election reflects deeper societal shifts and changing dynamics in American politics. Trump's difficulty in securing female support could represent a fundamental challenge for the GOP, as women increasingly prioritize issues that diverge from the party's platform. This shift is especially consequential in suburban and urban regions, where female voters' turnout and preference could play a pivotal role in deciding key swing states. If Trump fails to bridge this divide, the 2024 election could mark a significant realignment in voter demographics, with women emerging as a decisive force. For the former president, who has long touted his appeal across demographic lines, winning back the trust and support of female voters may be the greatest challenge yet. As campaigns intensify in the coming months, one thing is clear: the support or opposition of women could very well determine the course of American politics for years to come.